Hello. Today I am self-hosting SimpleLogin, an anonymous open-source email service that will allow you to use unlimited single-purpose and disposable addresses. This is probably the single most important thing you can do to preserve your privacy on the internet. Self-hosting such a service is the only way you can ensure that a third party is not logging your activity, thus linking your online aliases to a single identity. So I really encourage you to follow this guide and get acquainted with this indispensable privacy tool. It really is packed with cool features, including an awesome mobile app. To complete this guide, you only need a VPS. Although you can use your own server, of course. If you want to see me buy an anonymous VPS, paid with Bitcoin, please check the links below. Okay. So this is the plan for today. In part 1, I will install from scratch and harden Ubuntu server on a VPS. In part 2, I will get a domain name from a free service and create all the DNS records required for SimpleLogin to work properly. In part 3, I will install SimpleLogin. As always, all the commands are available in the description. In part 4, I will test SimpleLogin by sending and receiving email using an alias. Part 5 is very important. I will back up my SimpleLogin database, delete it, and restore the backup. And in part 6, I will connect the SimpleLogin mobile app to my server. Let's go. All throughout this video, I will be using the upper terminal window to copy instructions from text files that you have available in the link below. The lower terminal window, I will use to SSH into my server. I've already gotten a domain name for myself, at dsec.io, a free DNS service provider. If you want to see me do it, follow the link in the description. First thing I need to do is to point a subdomain to my server's IP. To do this, I need to create a Type A DNS record. I will name the subdomain SL for SimpleLogin. I already have a simple VPS running. If you want to see me buy an anonymous VPS, paid with Bitcoin, please check the link below. Right. Now I'll install a fresh Ubuntu server in the VPS. Most VPS providers allow you to specify the host name when you install the OS. Doing this now will save me a few steps later. More info in the description. My host name is sl.402.dn.io. I will provide my SSH public key. I will access the server now. First I will upgrade. Create a new user, make it a member of the sudo group, and copy the SSH public key into its home. Now let's harden SSH. Disallow root login. Allow SSH only for our new user. And disallow password authentication. Install fail to ban, to protect SSH against brute force attacks. Toughen the criteria by which a malicious host will be banned. And enable the firewall, allowing incoming connections only from SSH. Reboot, and test the new SSH configuration. Great! Please check that your domain name, and fully qualified domain name, are properly set. If they're not, learn how to do it in the description below. The server is ready. Before creating all the DNS records for my domain, let's do a few things. Allow incoming connections to ports 25, 80, and 443. Install the package, DNS Utils. Create these directories. And create a private public key pair. If you are running OpenSSL, version 3, instead of version 1, you must include the flag, traditional, when creating the private key. You can check your version of OpenSSL, by typing OpenSSL version. Okay. We start creating DNS records. Please ensure that you do this properly. Our domain names and subdomains are obviously different, so don't copy-paste blindly. The first record it's already been taken care of. So I move on to the next, MX record. Read the comments carefully, and do some basic research in order to understand what you're doing. It's not that complicated. Now the first of 3 TXT records. Copy the output of this command into the contents of the record. Read that this record must begin and end with quotes. Next one. And last. Five DNS records. Before moving on, please verify that you did everything correctly. You can run either one of these two commands, dig or nslookup. Wait a few minutes before doing this. DNS records can take a while to propagate throughout the internet, so you might not get the expected output, even if you did everything right. This is what you're looking for. Now let's install SimpleLogin. The SimpleLogin installation is based on Docker. If you don't know what Docker is, I strongly encourage you to do some research, so you know roughly what you are copy-pasting. Link in the description. So here we go. Install Docker. Create a Docker network. Now create a Postgres database in Docker. You need to specify a name for the database, a user, and a password. I named the database SimpleLogin, the user admin, and I created a strong password for it a few minutes ago. Please check that the database is set up correctly. It works. Type Ctrl-D, or exit. Install postfix. OK. Internet site. This should be your fully qualified domain name, if you set it up correctly. Now replace the contents of the postfix configuration file with this, which has been adapted by the SimpleLogin developers. Please review and adapt the code as you copy-paste it. Two more configuration files. Again, make sure that you write your domain name and your own database credentials. Restart postfix. And now write a configuration file for SimpleLogin. Adapt these fields and create a Flask password. OK. Now some Docker commands. Make sure to run them from your user's home. First we migrate the database. Initialize SimpleLogin. Don't worry about those warnings. Now run the web app Docker container. Email handler Docker container. And finally, run the job runner. Now we install the web server, Nginx. This is the Nginx file for our SimpleLogin server. Remember to replace my domain with yours. Reload Nginx. Now let's get a free SSL certificate for our SimpleLogin domain from Let's Encrypt. This is the domain I am getting the certificate for. I need to replace these two lines in the postfix configuration file. Please ensure that the names correspond to your certificate's path. And I also need to edit the URL field in my SimpleLogin configuration file. HTTPS instead of HTTP. Restart all Docker containers. Finally, I will enable HSTS on my SimpleLogin site. Just add this line to its Nginx file. Restart Nginx, and SimpleLogin should be up and running. Let's create an account. You know how this goes. Follow the link sent to your email, and activate your account. And it's done. By the way, I am using Firefox to access my server, but SimpleLogin is fully functional on the Tor browser. Cool. I have a new SimpleLogin account. I will leave it to you to explore all of the privacy features that are available. I am just going to make sure that SimpleLogin works by sending and receiving email from an alias. So let's create one. burn@402.dedn.io. All emails sent to this address should be redirected by my server to my real email account. I will send a text message to Penn. He promised to help me test this thing. He sent it. I will expand the alias window and refresh the page. One email has been forwarded from this alias. 2 in total. Here's the email. SimpleLogin is working correctly. Another cool thing is that I can respond directly to this email without disclosing my address. One reply sent. If I expand the alias, I can see detailed information. Okay. Now I am going to unlock all the SimpleLogin features by making my account premium. Access your SimpleLogin database and run the following command. Exit and refresh your browser. Done. The last thing I am going to do is to disable registrations in SimpleLogin. So even if someone knows about my server's IP address or domain name, they won't be able to sign in new accounts. It is very easy. You just need to add a couple of lines to the SimpleLogin configuration file, and restart the web app. Registration is closed. Congratulations! You have a SimpleLogin personal server. Now let's learn how to back it up. Before backing up, let's apply a few more changes to our SimpleLogin server. I will delete this automatically generated alias and add two-factor authentication to my account. Okay. So let's go through the backup process. Stop the database container. We need to back up the directory, DB. To preserve file permissions and ownership, I will run the tar command as root, with sudo. To test this backup, I am going to delete the SimpleLogin database and create a new account. So, delete the database Docker container and the DB directory itself. Let's create a new database from scratch, as we did before, in part 3. Restart the SimpleLogin app container. And we should have a brand new database. Let's test it. The user does not exist. Let's create it again. But remember, to do so, you need to allow new registrations. As you can see, this is a brand new account, in a brand new database. Now let's delete this database, and restore our previous backup. Stop and remove the database container. Delete the DB directory. Restore the backup file. And run the Docker commands to create a container for the database, and to migrate it. Restart the app, and try logging in. I am asked to physically touch the USB security key that I added as two-factor authentication. So this looks good. There you have it. My premium account, with my only alias. I will end this section by copying my backup tar file, from my server, to my host computer. If I place the file in my home path, it will be very easy to copy it securely, through SSH, using the scp command. I got it. Now I am going to connect the SimpleLogin mobile app, to my server. To do this, I need the server to issue an API key for my device. You can add as many as you want. I will encode the key in a QR code, and scan it from my phone. Now point the SimpleLogin app to your server. And sign in, with your API key. Done. Now you have access to your aliases. Your reverse aliases. You can create new ones. Delete them. And all kinds of cool stuff. One of the best ways to preserve your anonymity online, is to never reuse emails. So use a single-purpose, SimpleLogin alias, every time you need to provide an address. It is very important that you label aliases accurately, immediately after creating them. You don't want to lose track of which email you used for this or that service. And remember to back up regularly. Until next time.